Alright, how we all doing today? Finally, I'm here with this list. The NBA starting point guard after the trade deadline tier list. What did y'all think of the trade deadline, man? Honestly, for me, it was interesting. We gave up one of my favorite players in Gary Trent Jr. I'm a Portland Trailblazers fan, obviously. And we got Norman Powell, who's a great player. So it's kind of emotional for me, but I know overall, maybe the biggest thing that happened was Vucevic getting traded. Maybe Aaron Gordon, the Orlando Magic, just blowing up their team. So, with that, I've compiled a list of, I'll scroll down here, of each team's starting point guard, or what seems to be their starting point guard at this time. If things change, well, maybe I'll have to make an updated list. Before I move on, I somehow forgot to explain the tiers that I used, like how I'm ranking everybody. So, top tiers are superstar players, we got all-star players, the above average players, your average starter, an under average starter, and players I believe just should not be starting. Enjoy the video, guys. So let's get right into it with Benjamin Simmons himself. Offensively, I do not think Ben deserves to be up here, but just because he's probably Defensive Player of the Year, I think I'm going to put him in All-Star. Definitely. Next up, we have, I think it's Chasen Randall, or Chason Randall. I actually have no idea, but he plays for the Orlando Magic. And to be honest, on that team, there's not many players that should be starting. So he's going to go in the should not be starting tier. Next up, we have Chris Paul. He's not putting up the most points on the Phoenix Suns, but I think he has the biggest impact on that team. And I think even in his old age, CP3 is an all-star caliber point guard. Next up, we got my main man, Damian Lillard, and he's going straight into superstar. I don't even have to explain that. I don't think I do. I think we're just going to be content with that. We have an interesting one here in Darius Garland. Young player, showing some promise. You know, he's not as good as Sexton is, and it was a debate here to who to put, Garland or Sexton, but when I dived into the stuff here, Colin Sexton was a shooting guard, so Darius Garland is a point guard. I think I'm gonna slap him in average. I would love to slap him in above average, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I don't think so. Next up, we have De'Aaron Fox, who's having an underrated season. I think he's averaging like 26 points a game. The stats on the screen will figure that out for me if I'm right, or figure that out for you, I guess. And I think I gotta put him in All-Star. I know he's not an All-Star, but I feel like if the Kings would have been a higher seed come All-Star break, this guy would have been an All-Star. His stats are incredible. At least last time I looked. So I'm gonna stick De'Aaron Fox in All-Star. I don't know if them Kings are gonna make the playoffs though, but hey. Next up, we got DeJounte Murray. Again, the Spurs, it was kind of hard to choose point guard, or not really. Derek White is kind of a point guard, but DeJounte was the better choice here, and I'm gonna stick him in above average. He's having his best season, I believe. He's an amazing defender, super lanky. His offensive game has improved greatly. The Spurs got a good young core of guys. Next up, we got Dennis Schroeder, who I think I'm just going to stick in above average. I don't really got much to say about Schroeder, to be honest. He's a good defender. At least a decent defender. Maybe I shouldn't say good. He's a good offensive all-around player, but I don't think he's at that all-star level. He was a guy that I definitely thought, back in Atlanta, he could have blossomed into an all-star, and he probably had the potential to, but now he's kind of accepted that role as he's that third guy. With LeBron and AD out, he is the Lakers. He should be the main focal point of that offense. Next up, we got Alfred Payton. this one, man. Ooh, is he above average or is he average? I'm gonna put him in above average just because he's a well-rounded player. There's not really too many holes in his game besides his shooting, I guess. But the Knicks are doing really well, and he's playing he's got to be playing quite a bit of minutes, I would think. So we might change that come the end of this, but I think I'm gonna leave him above average. Next up, we got Ja Morant. Oh man. Ooh, I want to put him in All-Star, but I'm looking at the guys in All-Star right now, and I don't know. Oh man, hold on, let me explain. If he was averaging 22 points or 23 points, 24 points, in that area, I think I put him in All-Star. But he's averaging 18, 19 points, and his free throw percentage and his 3-point percentage. His 3-point percentage is, I don't even know. I don't think I can stick Ja Morant in All-Star. Again, we're gonna have to see who else I stick in All-Star. But as of right now, he might get moved up. But as of right now, I don't think I can. Next up, we got Jamal Murray, who I'm going to stick right beside him in above average. It's not really in order, I'm just sticking guys there. Jamal's having a better season now. He's picked it up. He had that nuts 50-point game with 0 free throws. I don't know if that was the first time that ever happened, but that is nuts. That's ultra efficient. I think Jamal's close to making that step to All-Star. He's close. I think his shot selection could be a little better. I think that's hindering him. I think if he took less bad shots, at least statistically, he'd look better. His stuff would look better. Next up, we got John Wall, who I'm sticking in above average. It seems like there might be a lot of guys there. Honestly, this is kind of interesting how there's so many guys in above average, but the Rockets suck, okay? The Rockets are awful. He's still, he's not having, if he was having, old John Wall, he'd be up here, for sure. But he's just okay. He's averaging 18 points, I think. I don't think I think he's definitely still above average, though. He's not here. He's definitely still here, despite how bad the Rockets are doing. That's all I can really say about him. We got Drew Holiday, who I'm also going to stick here because, again, he's the third guy on the Bucks, and it's kind of weird because you would think of him as closer to here. At least you would have in past years. You thought of Drew Holiday as that underrated player, even though he was a shooting guard in past years. He's averaging 15. He still clamps, he still can do everything for you. But I'm not gonna stick him any higher than that. And also the next guy is just above average too. This is ridiculous. Kemba Walker, honestly, I'm not sure what's up with Kemba Walker. Obviously injuries. He's not, and he's also got 2 other guys on his team that are just better than him. Jason and Jalen are better. Honestly, oh man, Kemba Walker. He's shooting 39% from the field. I have to just check. I might have to move this guy down later. He's averaging 18 points a game. I think honestly, I think this just means we move Elfrid Payton down. I think that's what that means. And yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So next we got Kendrick Nunn, who I'm gonna put in average. This guy honestly is either fire flames or not at all. Obviously second year player. He's averaging, I think, around 14, 15 points a game. But I'm not gonna put him above average. He's not in this class quite yet, I don't think. And these 2 guys might get moved down. The more we go, these 2, DeJounte and Dennis, might get moved down, but we'll have to see. Next we got Kyle Lowry. I'm gonna stick in above average. He just turned 36 years old, and he's still a dog on defense. He's still a good shooter for sure. I think he's shooting close to 40% from 3, so averaging about 17, 18 points a game. Honestly, maybe a while ago he was up here, but right now, above average, he was perfect. But Kyrie Irving is going to go straight into All-Star for sure. He's averaging like 28 points a game. Like, I think Kyrie is probably the 4th best point guard in the NBA right now. And the Nets are stacked, so like, you know, maybe he's having maybe a low-key, his season is a little underrated. Just a little bit. But whenever he goes off, it seems like the media is going nuts for him. So maybe I'm just wrong, but definitely All-Star, definitely. Now here's an interesting one, LaMelo Ball, right here, because he is probably not coming back, but it's definitely possible that he's coming back. But honestly, his stats for rookie, they've shaped up to be pretty good now, averaging 16, like 16, 5, and 5. So I'm gonna put LaMelo Ball, honestly. He's a rookie. I'm putting him in average. See, that's tough. That's tough because his no. Oh man. You know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna take a second here to rethink. Hold up.
3 hours later.
All right. So after just checking up on a few things here. I'm gonna move Schroeder and DeJounte down, and I'm actually gonna move LaMelo Ball up, which sounds ridiculous, but honestly, he's doing what these guys are doing on better percentages. At least from 3, his percentage is much better, and that's very important in today's game. So I'm gonna put him in above average. It looks ridiculous to have him in the same tier as John Morant, but just none of these guys are all-stars in my book right now. So in saying that, I'm gonna put Lonzo Ball on above average as well. Like, definitely, Lonzo's been a great, like, how can I say this? He's just improved in every way this year for sure. I don't know if he's better than LaMelo. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're better at different things. LaMelo's a much better, like, he'll break you down off the dribble. Lonzo's a better catch and shoot shooter. I think Lonzo's got better IQ and defense, but LaMelo has the potential to be all that. So they're gonna be in the same tier. Lonzo definitely above average. You know, y'all saying there's a lot of y'all saying he should be like here. Come on, man. I didn't believe in the Lonzo hype. You know, like, I obviously want the guy to do well, but when a player gets hyped up like that and he had a rookie season like that, it's, you know, it's nice to see him do good, and hopefully them Pelicans get him out of there soon. We got Luka Doncic, who's gonna go right into superstar. I don't really have to say much about this, to be honest. He's pretty nuts, man. As much as I like give Luka a hard time, it's not him that I don't like. It's just the fan base around Luka. As a player, I think he's a great player, and he's a very good person. Yeah, great player all around. You know, maybe his weakness is his 3-point percentage a bit, but when he's on. Can do everything else well in the game. You know, he's a little slow maybe, and maybe not like the best defender ever, but at the things he's good at, he's elite at for sure. We got Malcolm Brogdon, who's another above average. Maybe having an underrated season. I don't know. He started out really well for sure, because the Pacers started out really well. And his percentages are like down compared to his like best years in Milwaukee, but they're way up from last year, and I definitely think he had a shot at being an all-star this season for sure. So obviously I don't think he's as good as any of these dudes, but he's definitely close. I might put him up. We'll see. Here we got Michael Conley, who's gonna go right into above average. Yeah, his percentages are too good. Like, Mike Conley, honestly, like, everyone was like, you know, he should have made the All-Star game, and like, I'm not sure about that either. Like, there's probably better guys like De'Aaron Fox that could have made it, but he was on the best team in the NBA, and his percentages are really good, and his stats are honestly pretty comparable to this dude right here, Christopher Paul. So definitely above average for Mike Conley. Reggie Jackson, I'm gonna put in under average. He's just not. This ain't the Bobby Shmurda we saw in Detroit, bro. You know, Reggie had some injuries though, man. Reggie had some injuries, but he's only averaging like 9 points a game, and the Clippers desperately need a better fit there. And they got Rondo, and I was gonna put Rondo here, but since I haven't seen anything from Rondo right now, and they still just started Reggie the other day there, I think it was yesterday or today. I'm putting Reggie in this tier list, and he's gonna go in under average. So is Ricky Rubio, because you know the guy's like he's an improved shooter for sure, but he ain't doing too much but passing the ball. Like Rubio will drop like 5 points, 2 rebounds, 12 assists, and like that would be like his best stat line. Like 12 assists, great, but like I ain't picking up Rubio. I've been high on Rubio before, but I ain't high on Rubio right now. I'm gonna be honest. Russell Westbrook's still all-star. He's just averaging a triple-double as of this video, at least. He's averaging a triple-double again, I'm pretty sure. Can't hate against him. You know, I honestly want the Wizards to do really well. Obviously, Russ ain't the most efficient player here. But I still think Russ deserves that all-star caliber. Here's Saban Lee, who honestly, I'm gonna put in should not be starting. He's a rookie, okay. And I've seen this guy play. I don't really know too much about him, but he looks like he has potential. But I can't really say too much about him. I'm leaving him. Should not be starting. And Steph Curry is gonna be our last superstar, of course. He's injured right now. He hurt his butt, his tailbone. I think he should be coming back though, and you know, undeniably, superstar. Easily top 3 point guard in the NBA. Amazing. Like, why am I still talking about him? Seriously. Here's Theo Maledon. I'm gonna put him and should not be starting still, honestly, just because, like, I don't know. He's a rookie, man. It's tough with these rookies that don't, like, haven't had that much court time. He's averaging, like, I think, like, 8 points a game, which, honestly, no, I'm gonna put him under average. You know what? He's better than the 2 guys there, so I'm gonna put him there. I've seen his ability to shoot. You know, it looks like most of his shots come from 3. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave him there. Next up we got Satoransky. Yeah, no, Satoransky should not be I'm sorry. Like, the only reason he starts for them over Kobe White is because Kobe White isn't a point guard. Kobe White's a shooting guard, and yeah. Nah, I'm done. Nah, like, this guy, man. Not an awful player, but he should not be starting. And Trae Young is going to go an all-star still. I really don't like the way Trae Young be twerking in people's faces. I swear, man. He's drawing the most fouls and getting the most free throws, but come on, man. And honestly, like, sometimes I be seeing him, he's like 1 of 11 from 3. Like, definitely not having that same season as last year. Honestly, though, Atlanta has started coming back a bit, so his percentages look to be up from when I thought. So I'm gonna take a moment to just decipher this and decide if I want to move anyone up or down. Yeah, I'll be right back with that. Alright, honestly, so after thinking it over and looking at a few things, I think this is my final list here. I moved up Malcolm Brogdon and Jamal Murray purely because they're actually hyper efficient. Like, they're both very efficient, and they're putting up good numbers. They're putting up better numbers than everybody in above average. I think that's completely fair. I really want to put John Moran all-star, but I can't do it right now, guys. I can't do it. Again, everything's not in order. It's just look at it by tier. Don't look at it by, like, player by player, because I'm not gonna go in depth and cause that much controversy here. Yeah, I think this looks good. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with another position, like shooting guard, small forward, something. I'll make another list real soon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace. Cue that outro, baby.
You wanna